There we go, Simon. It's on. There's a mess everywhere, there's a mess everywhere today. I'm making a song about making a mess while shouting hooray, hooray, hooray. I live in a constant mess here at Project Nigel HQ, and there's a good reason for that, and there's a bad reason for it. Let's start with the good reason. The good reason is I don't have enough space for the amount of things that I have to stick in it, and the bad reason is I'm just disorganised. Anyway, regardless of all that nonsense, today is going to be a rather interesting day. Just in case you're watching this leftover video and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll give you a clue. It involves this car and me and a man called Johnny Two Scoops. Rather unusual name, isn't it? There, consider that a shave. It's as much as a shave as I get. You see, I'm aspiring to be Billy Connolly. That's a very nice key ring. And there's a fob. And there's a key. Brian Johnson is back. Brian Johnson. Yes. Brian Johnson. Now this is Boaty's car, but it used to be mine. And I named this car Brian Johnson, after the singer from AC/DC. He assumed that I'd made a spelling mistake and meant to say Brian Johnston, the cricket player. But I didn't. This car is here for two reasons. The first one is that he bought another car whilst he was here last Monday, and the second is that it's failed its MOT, and the third is he drove it here but didn't drive it back. So what I'm having to do is take a look at the MOT failure stuff and see whether it's something I can do something about, or will it be something I'll just say no, oh shit, I can't do anything about that. Go to an exhaust specialist. Yes, all figured out. Well, that concludes that. The back section does need replacing, and the middle section could be fixed with a dab of weld, if only my welder was working. And the front bottom ball joint is hanging off. I'm surprised you couldn't feel it actually. There's a lot of movement in that. The other day I mentioned two rovers in convoy, and it must be a convoy, two rovers in the close proximity on the same road. They must be in convoy, they must know each other. But today, no. Oh, that's amazing. You see, there still are people out there in the wild driving these cars who don't even know me. Isn't that a fantastic... Oh, cock. That's definitely not what I was expecting or hoping. Today is going to be mostly about looking for parts, sending parts off. Not a very exciting video, eh? No, not very exciting. But I feel obliged to be making some sort of video, but I don't think I'm going to get time to actually make a proper one. Door card. Deep down in the dungeon of desecration, here I am, looking for things. There was a point where this was, I'm sure, potentially a nice place to be. But don't worry, because you're not worrying anyway, are you? Why would you worry about it? You're not going to worry about it. No, it's for me to worry about, not you. Mind your own business. Balls. Big balls. Oh, balls. 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 Making a song out of balls. Making a song out of balls because something has gone wrong. Well, it's not gone wrong. It was only yesterday I had a message about a Rover 25 door card. And I replied with, yeah, I think I've got one. I'll have a look tomorrow. And I've just had a look and I found the one he was after. And now I can't find the message. Lots of banging going on in the garage next door, and I suspect that might be trailing arm bushes. I don't often say this, but what a wonderful, fabulous day I had. with chatting with Mr. Boaty all day. We had such a good laugh. I will get on it. I will get on in a minute. Currently, I am charging my phone in the car though. Now, guess what? I'm not having a problem with forgetting my charger at the moment. I'm having a problem with my charger not doing the charging. And it's not even the charger, I think it's the cable. But if I stick it on charge and it doesn't charge, so I have to take it off, plug it back in. Eventually, the battery power goes down and down rather than up and up. So the only way of charging at the moment is either with a wireless charger or in the car. So, there are my choices. Look who snuck into the yard with a freshly sprayed roof. Look at that. Isn't that rather lovely? You probably didn't know that it needed doing. Obviously the insects like it. Hello Leftovers video watchers, exclusively for the Leftovers video now. What a truly hectic day that was. Oh yes. Why was it so hectic? Well, I mean, Senior Mustard came around, we had some lunch together. Then Steve Berry came around with a man called Ruben, whom I know for Facebook. We spent quite a bit of time doing some video stuff together and other things. And then Turbo Tom came around and did some jobs on the turbo engine, but it went ever so slightly wrong, or at least it had a couple of unexpected happenings which then made it all take quite a bit longer than expected. So I'm on my way home now, late and ready to be in trouble once I get in. About to walk through the door and I'd be bent over and have my bottom smacked with a slipper, the tartan slipper of excruciating pain, coming exclusively to my bottom. The last time I walked to work, it was raining, and not only raining, but freezing cold as well. It doesn't seem that long ago. My reasons for walking to work before were to get some exercise. Same goes for this time, because there's not enough space in the yard. Same goes for this time. And also to acclimatise to the cold. That bit doesn't apply. You may be wondering then, why, if the yard is full, was I asking for more cars the other day? Well, it's simple really. 2 cars are indeed going within the next week. 2, I hope. And Michael Jackson could possibly go at any point. Boaty and I are entering another kind of little agreement thing where we're going to acquire cars, and it would be a good idea to have the space to bung a couple more in there for quick resale. You know Boaty, the tall one who looks a bit like Clarkson from behind. I'm starting to regret this now. As you may well have seen earlier on in the video, I did injure my leg somewhat. That was real, it wasn't put on. I set off running and something went like that, and suddenly I couldn't walk properly. That is now really starting to give me some jip. But the trouble is, inactivity causes problems. Not that I've been inactive, but not quite as active as I once was. On Facebook there's been this thing that keeps popping up about this 1,000,000 step challenge, the equivalent of somewhere in Cornwall to somewhere in Scotland, and it shows like a picture of it to put it into perspective on just how far 1,000,000 steps actually is. It rather depends on how big your stride is, of course. Anyway, I looked at this and I thought, well, that's only really equivalent to 10,000 steps a day, and well, basically you should be doing that anyway, shouldn't you, if you want to remain active. But then I got thinking, of course, that this isn't aimed at people that do that kind of walking or just walk the normal amounts in the first place. It's aimed at people that don't actually do it. It's an incentive for people to get up and achieve something. And it might not sound like a great deal, but actually, yeah, good, go and do it. One thing I do particularly like about walking or cycling is that I look around a lot more and I see beauty everywhere. Like, everything's beautiful. No matter what time of year it is, there's beauty to be found when you actually look. The horizon, the clouds, that flock of birds, even that bus stop has something curious about it. It's a field full of yellow daisies and, of course, the wind turbines up ahead. And I believe it's the same thing with people. People have, in general, lovely minds. They have lovely thoughts. They are nice people. I think everybody is capable of interesting ideas and interesting thoughts. And it only gets ruined when people get obsessed with popularity and trying to impress others. Then that ugliness gets in the way of it and stops any real beauty from coming out. These interesting, curious, independent and more thought-provoking ideas that people have always seem to get pushed out of the way just so they can fill that void with something that everybody else is already thinking. Being popular is more important than being nice. And that's why I hate fashion. Fashion, as far as I see it, is for insecure people. For people that can't just be themselves. They have to, well, they have to fit in. They're uncomfortable being an individual. And so the only way to be not noticed is to actually blend in, and then, as part of the bullying peer pressure type of thing that you get at school, pick on anyone that does have the balls to actually be themselves. I've known many people who were a victim of bullying at school, and I've got to say I wasn't one of them. And I don't know why. I mean, I should have been, but I just wasn't. Maybe I was, but I just didn't notice. Hello, lovely cats. Meow. Wish I had a cat in the yard like you. Just down this road here, there's a big house called Clegg Hall, and I believe it was abandoned for many, many years. And during that time of abandonment, some ghosts started squatting there. Ghosts will only ever take residence in an empty house, and they know their rights. Squatters' rights. Yes, they're smarter, these ghouls. Friday, going home ever so slightly early, but only so. I say on, that's just because I'm coming back later on and I don't want to be a naughty, troublesome husband. I don't want to be the kind of man that gets grief off his wife every day and actually feel like he deserves it. No, I want to feel like I don't deserve it. And if I go home now an hour early, then that'll fully justify me going out for 2 hours later on, won't it? Yes. I got thinking I should go home now. Okay, I'll go home now. I'll send a message saying I'm on my way. And then I thought, well, I want to take Toby Charles home. But I can't take that home unless it's clean and it's not been washed for a couple of weeks. So I had to do that, didn't I? So that's another hour just there doing that. But it's very important that 3-mile journey home and then back again later on tonight. I want it to be clean. There's nothing obsessive or strange about that, is there? Not feeling particularly brave today, so I'm going to have a bit of Dutch sausage. Dutch sausage to help me feel more brave. I'm trying out something today that I've never ever done before, and that is driving with cock glasses on. Yes, And I'm doing it just to see what it's like, because you see everywhere you go you've got people with sunglasses on, and I think, why do you need them? It's overcast anyway. I mean, it's a bit bright, but in all honesty, it's just, I just feel like a cock. Sunglasses, all they really do is they obscure your vision, light somewhat, and like I said, make you look like a cock. But they also make you look somewhat unapproachable as well. Maybe even, dare I say it, dodgy, and maybe even a little bit dodgy. As soon as you remove them, hey, friendly face again.